The Ghost Fleet of the Yukon. Imagine a secret so vast, so audacious, that it demanded the sudden, impossible construction of a fleet of ships hundreds of miles from the nearest ocean, built on a frozen wilderness river, all in the name of a glittering, soul-shattering fortune. The year was 1897, and the air in Seattle, Washington, was thick with the scent of pine, salt, and raw, untamed greed. A single, small steamship, the Excelsior, had just docked, but its arrival was anything but ordinary. It carried not cargo, but a fortune, a payload of gold that shattered the American imagination and instantly rewrote the destiny of a generation. On board, men stepped off blinking in the bright Puget Sound sun, their faces lean and weather-beaten, their pockets literally sagging with gold dust, nuggets, and makeshift tin cans filled with glittering raw metal. One miner, a quiet, unassuming man named Clarence Berry, stumbled slightly, weighed down by the $130,000 worth of gold he carried, a staggering sum when the average worker earned less than $500 a year. Another, a former policeman named Frank Fiscator, casually displayed a cigar box overflowing with $18,000 in nuggets. The news was instantaneous, viral before the age of electricity. The papers screamed the headlines, "Gold! Gold! Gold! 68 rich men on the steamer Excelsior!" This wasn't a rumor. It was tangible, verifiable wealth. It wasn't California, where the rush had been a century past. This was the Klondike, a brutal, frozen, unknown corner of the Yukon Territory, Canada. And that single moment, the docking of the Excelsior, triggered the last great gold rush and one of the most astonishing logistical feats in American history: the creation of a ghost fleet on the Yukon River. The White Pass Nightmare. The journey to this promised land of unimaginable riches was a gauntlet. It started not in Seattle, but hundreds of miles north, in the Alaskan port town of Skagway. Tens of thousands of men, and a surprising number of women, sold everything they owned and crammed onto hastily converted ships sailing north into the frigid, moody Pacific. They were called stampeders. When they arrived in Skagway, the true nightmare began. Canadian law, seeking to prevent starvation in their remote territory, mandated that every person entering the Klondike must carry a year's supply. Nearly 1 ton, 2,000 pounds, of food, tools, and clothing per person. This mandate was the first great filter, a Herculean task that immediately eliminated the weak and the unprepared. The route from Skagway was the infamous White Pass Trail, a path of staggering cruelty. Known grimly as the Dead Horse Trail, it was a 33-mile ascent over the coast mountains, a relentless climb through mud, jagged rock, and deep snow. The stampeders couldn't carry the 1-ton burden in a single trip. Instead, they had to pack their supplies, carrying 50 to 100 pounds at a time, depositing it further up the trail, and then hiking back down for the next load. For every mile they advanced, they walked 10 or more, repeating the brutal cycle until the full ton was moved. The trail was a tableau of suffering. Thousands of horses, poorly managed, overworked, and inadequately fed, collapsed and died on the slippery slopes. Their carcasses, eventually numbering over 3,000, lined the trail, earning it its gruesome nickname and turning the air acrid with decay and despair. The sight of a man weeping beside a dead horse, his only hope of moving his supplies now gone, was commonplace. The sudden city on the lake.